I'm sorry. What the fuck just happened? A lot of cool things happening locally in sports. I don't know what just happened. Halloween, Monday happened, football happened. But what the fuck just happened? Anyway, a lot of cool local things to talk about in sports. The Heat are very good. The Panthers appear to be maybe the best hockey team in the NHL. But I gave Chris Whittingham an opportunity, Mike, last night to say the Canes are back because it appears that the Miami Hurricanes have found themselves a quarterback. And so, Mike Ryan, I would like to afford you the opportunity for the 1 millionth time over the last 18 years to tell us whether or not the Canes are indeed back. They did find themselves a little quarterback, though, Michael.
Yeah, I think the quarterback discussion's more interesting than the Canes are back. I kind of feel like you're making fun of me when you're asking me a stupid ass question like that. No,
Why?
They're not back. It's good to beat two ranked teams for the first time back to back in 4 years. That's nice. It's good to see players have pride and are playing hard. I'm not necessarily sure they're playing for Manny or they're just playing for their pride, but it's good to see. I'm not exactly enthused by the talk that Manny Diaz has saved his job. I think that's all conjecture, and let's see where we're at the end of the year. But it's good to see the Miami Hurricanes playing well, and yeah, you're right. Tyler Van Dyke is absolutely exciting. I told you when we saw him in practice,
right?
He was very good.
You're close. You want to say they're back. Like you want to say, yeah, you do.
You took what I said, and
right.
You only heard that I want to say the Canes are back.
Yeah.
No, this is as upset with the Miami Hurricanes program this Manny Diaz era, because I mean, just dating back to the FIU loss, I've wanted change. So I'm enthused to see players playing hard and certain position groups playing well, but I actually take what's happened recently as confirmation that Manny Diaz really botched the start of this season, because what's bailing him out here, what's actually getting results, is what I was screaming from the mountaintops at the beginning, which is play the best players.
Right.
Play the kids. You keep telling us how great the last two recruiting classes are. Play them. There was nobody on this team that was an upperclassman that deserved to play based off of just, I've been here. There wasn't anybody particularly great. Bubba Bolden shouldn't have been starting at safety for this team. He was picked on last year, but he got ACC honors and he was just there. Next level, he's a linebacker. He should have been playing linebacker the entire time, and he should have been playing Williams at safety.
Well, Bubba Bolden just sounds like a name of a guy that should be good, though. I get why they started him just because of his name.
Right. That's
Bubba.
fair.
It's a football name.
Yeah.
Did it feel good, though, to upset Pitt after they upset Miami season a couple years ago?
No, there's no level of payback there. This is just running the clock out. I hope they don't lose to Georgia Tech, but the Manny Diaz sort of story arc down here at Miami probably says he'll lose a very disappointing conference game coming up here. And if you look at the schedule, there's a couple of those games that you would circle and say, well, if he loses that's a big time problem.
Right. But he's got a quarterback, Mike. Like he's got a good young.
He had a quarterback last year.
I know, but Mike, doesn't he get credit for recruiting that quarterback? Like he said,
Tyler Van Dyke.
Did he recruit him?
I have to check. I think so. Yeah, Tyler Van Dyke was going to Miami regardless. You could have put a mop there. Tyler Van Dyke has been committed to the University of Miami for years. He's been going to games as a little kid.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm saying is if Manny Diaz, as poorly as he's coached, if he's the guy that recruited the quarterback, that got the quarterback that could save his job, right?
I mean, he got De'Aaron King in the transfer portal. That was a major win.
I understand that.
He got Jake Garcia. He has a very good quarterback room.
Okay, so if he has an ability
what are we doing here? Again,
I'm asking you a question. Hold on a second.
It's not all about the quarterbacks. Right now, Manny Diaz is actually showing that he can learn from his mistakes. These are mistakes that should have been made at a job like Temple.
Right.
The fact that he has a good quarterback does nothing for me. He had a good quarterback last year.
But you said yourself, like, they were a win away from in that North Carolina game from getting to an Orange Bowl.
And they lost 62-26.
But this year, De'Aaron King started the first month of the year pretty poorly, and it seems fairly evident that he should not have been playing at any point. He's 9 months off an ACL, and they couldn't move the ball. Yeah. Now Tyler Van Dyke is in, and they can move the ball. Like, their offense is good.
They're going downfield. Tyler Van Dyke is going downfield, and actually the book on him was that he was, even though he had the arm for it, he was a little bit more careful. I love that he's unleashing. And how can you not really gravitate towards that size, that skill set? I mean, he's got pro measurables. He was throwing some dimes down the field. He's an exciting player. Miami is very well positioned for this next coach that comes in next season.
Well, what I'm asking is, Mike, part of the job is the ability to recruit, and it appears that he's good at that portion of the.
Does it?
Well, I'm basing
because he's got the 60th ranked recruiting class right now.
Hold on, I'm basing it off of what you've told me that
he had two good classes.
He's got a good quarterback room, is what you just told me.
Yeah, but this is college football. You got to stop doing the thing where the quarterback's the only thing that matters. It's very singular focus with you. There's an entire team here to worry about, and while there's young players on this team making contributions that you can build around, getting a 60th ranked class can absolutely nuke the positive traction that you have right now.
I'm with you two guys. I think they're back.
Well, listen, I'm not trying to say that they're back.
I think they're back, and furthermore, if I'm going to read between the lines, I think if anything, now has a leg up because they got Manny, they got him his growing pain years. They didn't need him to go to Temple. He's figured it out, and now he's here. And he's learned his lessons.
So the barometer is just eke out a couple one-score victories against two ranked
opponents.
Teams.
A ranked opponent on the road. You guys told me. I said Pitt wasn't very good. You guys told me Pitt was good.
Pitt, the ACC is a tire fire.
That
Why aren't they ranked
safety at
anymore?
the end of the game should have counted. I'm not a Pitt fan. I would like to stake that claim boldly here. I do not claim Pitt. I actually despise Pitt football, but I do have like a weird soft spot for them because a lot of my family members went to Pitt. But I hate
thing to despise.
So you despise them, but you have a soft spot.
Yeah,
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't. You can't really square that circle.
It can't be both. I mean, it cannot.
It is.
But it can't be.
But the safety should have counted.
Miami had some tough breaks earlier in the season. Some of the breaks are evening out, and we'll see. If I told you, if they win out, it's an 8-win season for Manny Diaz, and they win the bowl game, that's not a great season considering the expectations. If he loses another game, 7 wins in year 3 is a disaster.
Right.
And I don't want to lose the plot here just because they come on a little stronger later in the season. If I tell you in a vacuum, Manny Diaz has 7 wins in year 3.
Sure.
That's a backslide for this program, and he's got to go. So I am happy, once again, that the University of Miami is winning games. I am certainly happy that they have a quarterback that you can get excited about, and maybe some of the question marks about what happens when De'Ara King leaves, maybe we can turn the volume down on that. But this is just a pointless exercise for me. We're just running the clock out here.
You're convinced that Manny Diaz is he's not a good head coach. He's not the head coach for the Miami Hurricanes.
I'm not going to say Manny Diaz isn't a good coach. I actually think he can be a good coach if he just develops a little bit more. And that was my whole beef here. When you bring him in, I don't know. This is like a broken record. I kind of feel like people are making fun of me to my face.
I'm not making fun of you. Mike, I'm asking you. I was thinking about this over the weekend. I'm asking you a very serious question. Like he recruited what appears to be a very good young quarterback. Should he be afforded the opportunity to coach the guy that he recruited for the next couple of years? I know there's more. I know there's more.
They gave up 587 yards to Pitt.
Guys, I get all of it, but that quarterback could fix a lot of your problems, regardless of who the coach is. That's all I'm saying.
This is college football. You can have bad.
Why are we yelling at each other?
But shouldn't we hold it against Manny that, like, if this quarterback is so good, why wasn't he starting sooner?
Proper the quarterback. It's college football. This isn't the pros. Josh Allen was a very good, highly touted prospect.
Right.
Wyoming was no good. There's more to it than the quarterback. There's a program that you have to build. This program, if you pay attention to all the signs that matter, everything is on a very shaky foundation right now. The recruiting is a huge red flag. It's terrible. And everybody is pointing to the uncertainty in this athletic department. You don't know if Blake James is going to be here. You don't know if Manny Diaz is going to be here. Therefore, no recruits want to sign up for that unless they're just married to the brand. Like
that's not on Manny, though. I mean, Manny can't make those decisions.
It is on. Well, the
fire him or keep him.
No,
make the decision.
No, but
the uncertainty around him is not.
No, but the uncertainty
he is because he lost the games.
Right. The uncertainty is born out of losing to FIU and Louisiana Tech.
Right.
And entering this season in a perilous position, and then getting hammered by Alabama, and then losing a couple more bad games as well.
But those 2 bad games, the Virginia game and the North Carolina game, Miami was like right there at the end. Those could have been wins. And then your only losses are to Alabama and Michigan State, who's undefeated now.
Yeah. No, a lot of people are doing this. I'm not.
You won't do it.
A lot of people are like, "Wow, if you made that kick against Virginia, you'd be right there and you'd be controlling your own destiny." And and this is saying something, the worst Coastals I've ever seen. This is
fair.
Really bad.
Right.
And I actually look at the landscape in college football and pro football. This is always kind of what you envision when great quarterbacks would leave. And Clemson had that kind of run with Deshaun Watson to Trevor Lawrence. And you realize that, okay, maybe they're not like Alabama.
You left that Kelly Bryant in between.
Yeah, Kelly Bryant had a decent year.
Right.
Alabama is the outlier historically. That's very difficult to maintain. It's like a Category 5 hurricane. Eventually, they burn out and have to recharge. That's what's happening with Clemson. That's what's happening with the AFC. The AFC is fun as hell this season, but I'm not exactly sure if there's a really good team in the
Titans
AFC.
Top it at 6-2.
Yeah, the Titans.
The Raiders are in second at 5-2.
That would be if the playoffs started on Saturday. The Browns had an AFC path to the Super Bowl that had them going through Vegas and Cincinnati. I was feeling really good about my chances. About 12 hours later, the season feels over. It is the AFC without Brady and Manning. This is what you always envisioned. And I will turn my attention, trust me, this is not me deflecting on Miami. They won, for Christ's sakes. But I want to turn my attention to the Miami Dolphins because this is a hugely disappointing season, obviously. I don't understand if they were that good last year because it doesn't make sense to me. If they were 10-6 last year, right? They were 10-6 last year, miss the playoffs because of a tiebreaker. They added talent to the offense. They haven't worked out, but they did add talent with
They did.
Jalen Waddle, Will Fuller. I know Devontae Parker's been hurt, but I mean, they're missing
Fuller. Fuller hasn't played.
Yeah, they're missing Kyle Van Noy from last year.
Right.
They're not Eric Flowers. To me, Eric Flowers isn't the difference between 10-6 and 1-7. What happened here?
Well, I'm amazed. Whittingham had a glorious rant last night after the Dolphin game, after the 4:00 games about the Dolphins. But I am amazed by the amount of people who are telling me that what they could hang their hat on with this coaching staff was that they were going to be a disciplined football team. And they are not. They are the furthest thing from a disciplined football team. They can't get set up. They make countless just blunders on a weekly basis that leave you perplexed as a Dolphin fan. And I cannot believe we've arrived at this place this quickly with Brian Flores, where it seems like Dolphin fans want to fire the guy.
Whitty fired him last night on
I
our
know.
show.
I have friends who are sending me texts. He's got to go.
On Halloween, Woody.
I know. Very rude.
I didn't fire him. I said
Yes, you did.
I said it might be time for him to go.
Right.
You said he should go.
Now, Chris,
he's
I know
fired.
you're a Chargers fan now. They haven't won since you
how's
become a
that
Charger
going?
fan, but I am wondering, as a former Dolphin fan, how do you feel about all this?
I'm sticking it out with the Chargers, by the way. People are coming after me saying that I should, I've ruined them. Apparently the Chargers have a bad history. Look, man, I don't know. People are still doing the thing with Tua where people are saying they're doing the kind of thing that you're doing with the quarterbacks from Miami. They're like, oh,
Right.
Tua's okay though. But the defense is supposed to be good. I have no idea. The defense is basically, like Mike said, they lost Kyle Van Noy.
That game was a lot closer than the final score.
All their games have been. They're kind of in all these games.
The
This
last
league
two
is
scores have
weird.
been close.
Can't
Yeah,
the
but
answer to
prior
your
to.
question just be this league is weird?
The league is
It really
weird.
is.
And it was
No,
really
that's an
weird.
answer.
This league is weird,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
The league is
that?
weird, but
The league is
Miami,
weird.
I'm with
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Yeah,
but the
league's
Miami
weird.
Dolphins are bad.
Yes.
But it's not all on Tua.
No,
We can agree on all of this.
I
No.
agree.
We're all agreeing today.
We all love Tua like
Oh,
a
no,
son.
Whitty
Yeah,
disagrees.
we all love Tua.
Love Tua.
We all
No,
don't
Whitty
want
hates
to go
Tua.
anywhere.
Whitty hates Tua.
Whitty hates
and,
Tua.
And Coach
Tell you
Flo.
what, if the
You hate
Deshaun
him.
Watson stuff is true and they trade for him, I still hope Tua is here and Tua still starts over Deshaun Watson. No matter what, Deshaun Watson would be
Wow.
a mighty fine backup.
I have a question that I know isn't going to be received well. I was looking at some numbers and I realized there were some missed games. If Tua and Baker switched positions, how do you think Tua would do in Cleveland?
Wow.
I mean, he was hurt this year too, so we'd see a lot of Case Keenum. Are we just saying like if they're both healthy? Because I think part of what's going on with Baker too is that injury. Baker's not rolling out for whatever reason. I don't know if defenses are just taking away the rolling out, but the offense doesn't have any explosive passing plays because when Baker is in the pocket, he is very ordinary. He misses high. All the big passes for this offense come with rolling Baker out. Either they're choosing not to do it because I want to protect the quarterback's shoulder, or defenses are taking that away. Baker is very ordinary right now with this injury. I don't see a difference.
But he doesn't have to be more than that.
I think so.
He does.
Very clearly.
I mean, he does. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
when they've
needed
all
him.
the good teams on their schedule that they've played, Pittsburgh, Arizona, like they've needed more from Baker.
Yep.
And their record, I mean, they've played some of the best teams in the league. And so Cleveland needs something more if they're going to beat the best teams in the league and advance in the playoffs.
I think the question he's bringing up is what would Cleveland look like with an accurate? Because I think if you could say anything about Tua, he seems to be relatively accurate.
Right.
His decision making is not always great, but he does seem to throw the ball where he wants it to. So I think what Billy was kind of saying is if you put Tua in a situation with like Cleveland's a much better team than the Dolphins. So I just think that's what he was asking.
Are the Browns a quarterback away? Is essentially what Billy is asking.
What was Billy asking?
I don't know.
Lots of opinions.
So, I mean, in the middle of so the Dolphins start games really well.
Yes.
So they
played well yesterday.
No, they didn't, Stugotz.
No, they did.
They
They
went 3 and out 3 times in a row in the second half.
They
First
were
drive,
in that game on the road at Buffalo. Very difficult place to play. Very difficult team to play against.
Bogus touchback, 9-point swing.
Like, listen, you can talk about Flores and he's lost the team, lost the locker room, and a lot of Dolphin fans are. He didn't lose that defense. That defense played very, very well yesterday.
Okay,
That's
but
all
they've also been in the bottom 3 of the NFL in third down conversions against all season long. When that's not who they've been, they're not turning opponents over nearly as much as they did last year, which is really the biggest difference between last year and this year. And we know that is not sustainable in the NFL. They turned opponents over 29 times last year. That is not sustainable. But if you look, so the Dolphins start well. They go down. They should kick a field goal. Jason Sanders misses an extra point length field goal that he normally makes. Then they go punt, field goal. And then here's the middle of the game. It's always in the middle of the game. Punt, fumble, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. And by the time they get the ball back in order to try and get back into the game, it's a 2-score game. The Dolphins always do well when they're down by 2 scores. That's not the point. The point is in the middle of the game when it's being decided, heading towards the fourth quarter, is your offense moving and generating touchdowns? And they don't. They don't. It's because they need to do 12-play drives in order to move the ball because they don't have any deep threat. And that has to fall somewhat on the quarterback. It falls on everyone. It falls on the skill guys. It falls on the coaching staff. It falls on how they built this team. But in the middle of games, they cannot score.
But what do you do with this? Devontae Parker hurt. Fuller hasn't really played.
Parker's always been hurt.
And Jalen Waddle was also injured. Like, what do you do with that? Like, he's had Mike Gesicki essentially to him,
He's been great.
Well, except
Thank
for that
God
one
he
play
kept the team
yesterday.
lined
Yeah,
up.
well, that was weird.
That was
motion.
idiotic.
Yeah, that just jumped off the screen. Bad team.
Right, exactly.
That's what a bad team
You're
does.
3-3 with less than 2 minutes to go in the first half.
Right.
A decent team goes into halftime at 6-3.
Right.
A good team goes in at 10-3. And instead you have a snap come off your tight end's leg.
Who, by the way, everyone was praising as the only one that knew what was going on offense.
Yeah.
And I still think that, by the
I
way.
maintain that too.
I still think he's the only one that knows. He's
That's more
supposed
of an
to.
indictment on everybody else at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's the guard telling the center to snap it when Gesicki's got to roll back the other way. The play was clear from the motion to the left and come back to the right.
Yeah.
He's got to start going back to the right before you snap it.
Yeah, I don't think Gesicki meant to run into the snap.
No.
Yeah, that's not
Unless
on
they
him.
practiced it like that and he picked it up and ran it
A
in.
little fumble Rooski.
Yeah.
That went wrong.
Bunch of glass half empty people in here today. Why don't we look at the fact that the Dolphins lost to the Bills
I
by
know.
35 the first time and only by 15 this time?
This is crazy.
20-point improvement.
Mike Ryan is miserable. I know the Browns lost to the Steelers. It's a terrible loss, but he cares about the Canes deeply. All I asked him is if he had a quarterback.
Yeah,
and he
they
jumped
won.
on
That's
my
not all you
neck.
asked
Big
me.
win.
That's not all you
He had a
asked
big
me.
win. I was
Big
happy
win.
for you.
Yeah.
You asked me. You started with the
Ranked
patronizing is
team.
the you back.
I was giving
a
you
good
an
question.
opportunity to get ahead of the game and
Wait,
be
are
the
they?
guy that calls them back and be right. That's all.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome.
I've
I've
never seized on the opportunity to say the you is back too soon.
I mean, you're setting him up. You want him to say they're back after beating Pitt.
I want him
No,
to
after
get it.
beating the number 17 team in the
A
country.
Heisman
Whoa.
hopeful.
You guys are patronizing.
I had an argument last week with Dan and Mike about whether or not Pitt was good. I said they weren't good. Those guys said they're very
They're good
They
for
went on the
Pitt.
road and beat a very good team. I mean,
On Halloween.
exactly right. It has nothing to do with anything.
We're not getting off to a good start where it's just like every single
you're very
conversation
upset.
with me. No, it's just you're patronizing me.
I'm not patronizing you.
Yes, you are. When you start, hey, Mike, the U is back, I feel like, okay, we're starting here.
No, what I was doing was giving you the opportunity to take a page out of the Stugatz playbook, which is announced that, Mike, you say they're back and they're not back. Who the hell cares in the grand scheme of things? You say they're back and they're actually back. Boom.
The season, some people could say the season's been saved. They were looking at, they were 2-4 and then come back. It could have been horrible from there.
Right.
Back-to-back ranked teams, 2 big wins,
you can
4-4.
But I swear, I did not come in here with the intention to patronize you. I was actually, I gave Whittingham the opportunity to say the Canes were back last night. He did not because he's nuanced and he's not.
Why
me.
not?
Because
they're
he's not
4-4.
Yeah, but they were 2-4 2 games ago.
But
They could win the Coastal.
Undefeated the last 2 games.
They could win the Coastal, but more importantly,
what if they win the ACC? Let's go crazy.
I mean,
what if they win
God.
the ACC?
Manny Diaz statue
Something
tomorrow.
that hasn't been done yet.
I didn't even
by
consider
this
the.
team.
I mean, they could.
They could.
They
That's
could.
what I'm
They-
saying.
They have to,
That's what
they
I'm
probably
saying.
have to beat
This could be
Wake-
the most successful season they've had since 2002.
Chris, here's the problem. Mike legitimately thinks I'm making fun of him and patronizing him, and I'm not. They could win the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
They could. And
But
also,
what does that mean?
It means they won their conference.
Okay, but you've lost 4 games,
From
including
where?
It doesn't matter.
at home to Virginia.
Witty, from where
Just
they
win the last one.
from where they were a couple of weeks ago to find a quarterback and win that conference, that
Okay,
would
but
say
they're not
something.
going to. Like all evidence suggests
They could.
they'll lose at Duke. They'll lose at home to Virginia Tech.
Right.
Like they're not winning out.
They could, though.
They won't.
They could also finish last.
One of the major signs you have to look
Lose out.
for
Right.
the Hurricanes being patronized is when Billy's on Team Canes.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
like a big
No,
sign.
it's that everybody's a Debbie
That's when
Downer
anyone's
today.
getting patronized. Billy, I had a great sports weekend.
See?
Like one of the best of
There you go.
the entire year.
Yeah.
And I'm scared to bring it up. 'cause
Why?
Mike's sitting right next to me.
Oh.
But between
go
Notre
for it.
Dame
You were a
And
big
Pitt.
and the
winner.
Steelers,
Yeah, you were a
It
big
it was
winner.
a big weekend for Jess.
Yeah.
And I made some apple cider muffins to celebrate.
Oh,
Whoa.
wow.
Apple cider muffins.
You want one, Cody?
Mike, I swear I'm not trying to do that to
All
you.
right. All right, cool.
There's
I
I
mean,
mean,
it
mini
might-
muffins, like
it-
1 bites.
It might feel like it because Billy's involved.
They're really 2 bites, Billy.
I'm trying to help you two guys because, by the way, I don't see how your voice is going to last 4 hours today. So
What do
I'm
you
trying
mean?
to. Well, you sound horrible.
My voice feels great. I mean, it really does.
That can't be.
You opened your mouth when you sat down and a frog came out.
You
Like
said-
the first thing out of your
Well,
mouth.
Monday after Halloween, those kind of things happen.
What did you
I mean,
do
they
on
do.
Halloween that made your
Smoked a lot of weed.
okay?
Yep.
Jess, you called this a 2-biter?
I think it's a 2-biter.
I think you can do that in one. There you go.
1-biter for Cody.
Gone.
There's a lot of cinnamon on them, and the
Oh,
cinnamon
wow.
can dry out your mouth a little.
Yeah.
Mm.
They are gluten-free.
These are delightful.
How do you take the gluten out of them?
I just have like gluten-free flour blends that I use.
By the way, Halloween now.
Don't
it
need
used
the
to
paper.
be.
Very good.
Those
We
are
can get to that
one-biters,
later.
by the way. What do you mean not exciting?
No, I said it's not what it used to be. Yeah,
Oh,
we can
what
get to
hap-
that later.
Well, what happened?
No,
What do
we'll
you
get to
mean?
that
It's,
later.
it's everything that it used to be.
No, it's not.
It's the same
These are really
exact
good
thing that it used to
Thank
be.
you for
Disagree.
making
Well, I want to hear this. How did Halloween change? How has it changed?
Trick or treating, not what it used to be. I don't see the trick or treaters out. Lots of houses not opening the doors.
But that changes by neighborhood, right?
Mm.
Neighborhoods go
That's
through
true.
phases.
Yeah, swings.
I think COVID probably has something to do with it. No?
I listen.
You didn't have to go there.
Well, I did. I
No.
mean, it has. That's probably the reason.
There are definitely neighborhoods though that start off as kid-friendly neighborhoods, but I
Yeah.
think they grow up empty, and then I think there's empty nester neighborhoods
Right.
where there's just like
True.
not their parents are just not into Halloween, but they haven't
It's not
moved yet.
about
You're not yet at retirement stage. You know?
Nah, it's not about them though. It's about the kids.
I
and
agree. I
Halloween.
agree. I think every house is responsible for
Mhm.
upholding the Halloween tradition.
Social
I
responsibility.
agree.
I saw an uptick, and this is probably because of COVID, and people sitting out front this year doing that,
Oh,
doing
yeah.
that move.
Mm.
My
I like that
family
move.
did that.
I used to be
I like that
anti
move, too.
I used to like I like the knock. I don't like if you're just sitting in the driveway, but I did a lot of it yesterday, and I was fine with it. So I'm the opposite of Billy. I had a good time this Halloween.
Really?
The doorbell also, if you have a pet, it just drives you crazy because
Well,
they
if-
bark the whole time.
You don't ring the door. You knock.
If you have a dog,
Right.
you
No,
have
you
to sit
ring the
outside.
doorbell.
If you have a
Knocker.
dog, you have to sit outside, right? That's a rule.
Unless you
correct?
live somewhere cold. This is the thing about
By the way,
Halloween
it's
here.
freezing today.
Yes,
It
it is
is.
freezing. It was 69 degrees when I
Mhm.
woke up this morning.
Witty.
You were saying?
I wore pants
Dirty
for the
witty.
first time in months. I don't know what I was saying, Stu.
You were talking about
in some
the dog
places it's
and
cold and
sitting
you can't sit
outside,
outside
right.
for 4 hours.
I thought Halloween felt the same to me. Like, I enjoy big drink. I set the table up outside. I put some music on. The kids come by. I give them candy.
Ooh, what's your Halloween playlist? Do you have a special playlist, or it's just your normal music? Like Monster Mash, is that playing at all?
No, I have the Philadelphia show, Halloween show from I want to say it's 1988. Grateful Dead. Loser. I think Samson and Delilah. A little Scarlet Fire.
How loud are we at? What volume number are we at?
We're at a pretty good volume. Again,
Do the neighbors hate you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. They do. That was a dumb question.
I don't believe that.
Why?
You seem like a nice neighbor.
No, but the blasting of that music, and I'm sure it's going on at all
I
hours.
do blast the music, yeah.
When you partake, are you like outside playing the music loud, or like in a garage? Like, does everybody hear every time you're celebrating?
Well, not every time, but the neighbor to my right, because I'm in where I park my golf cart, is in the garage that's closest to his house.
You have multiple garages?
I have a third car garage.
Oh.
For the golf cart.
Of course.
I do. I hate saying that. Thanks for putting me in that spot.
Well, no, because you said I park in the garage closest to him, which, I had to ask, are there multiple garages?
Are you asking me if the neighbor can hear me partaking every single time I partake?
Yeah, if everybody knows what you're up to every time you're up to it.
He does.
Your whole neighborhood knows.
Is it always the same? Is it always the same show?
You're probably right. No, it's not always the same show.
Sometimes you feel like, oh, this is Halloween, Philadelphia, 19, whatever you said. And other times it's like, oh, this is Red Rock,
It's a
2004.
Well, it's a show that the Dead played on Halloween back in the 80s. So that's why I listened to it.
Is it different than any other Dead show? Like, is it something that makes it Halloween other than they did it on Halloween?
They just did it on Halloween.
So you're the only one that knows this is a Halloween playlist.
I am the only one who knows. Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to have secrets by yourself.
Thank you. I have plenty.
Really?
Yes, I do. But I enjoy, like, what are the shutdown rules for Halloween? When you are now, Whittingham, we discovered last night, has no time for Halloween. He's never been to a Halloween party.
That's not true. You've never been to a Halloween party?
No.
Have you ever worn a costume?
When I was a teenager.
What? What? What
Does that
year?
really surprise you,
What
Billy?
number? Yeah, what number?
What do you mean, what number?
What number teenager?
Like 13?
Oh, the worst. You didn't have like a Halloween of like 18, 19?
No.
Oh, you missed out on Halloween. Oh,
What did I miss out on?
Halloween.
Halloween.
Candy is the least of what's going on.
Right.
Baby.
Whoa.
Dirty Billy.
Never like a slutty referee.
Whoa! Yes, I was wearing crop tops.
I could see you
When I was
being
in
a
college.
slutty librarian, Whitty.
Ooh.
Couldn't you see Whitty with the glasses?
like pulled down slightly.
Yeah.
The top button slightly open.
Whittingham, do you even leave a bowl of candy out where you live? You live in an apartment building.
Yeah, I live in
right?
an apartment building. So I told you last night, I got candy for the first Halloween that I lived there,
Right.
but nobody came.
Right.
And so I had to eat all this candy by myself over the course of several months.
Okay. So
That
you
sounds horrible.
No, it was
Yeah.
awful.
So you never got candy
Couple of
again.
months. Wait, how did Halloween candy last you months?
I got like 55 of like the mini bars. Of,
55 and that lasted you months? That's like by Wednesday that's gone.
I mean,
I've had 4 Kit Kats this morning.
I don't want to balloon 30 pounds just polishing off my own Halloween candy.
This is the one morning of the year, though, you feel okay eating a Snickers at like 8 a.m., though, right?
Did you have one? Put it on the poll. Is this the one?
It's the one morning. You
Put
just
it on the poll. Is the morning after Halloween the one morning a year it's okay to eat a Snickers at a?
Wait,
Full
you've
size.
never
Yeah,
tried
yes.
Butterfingers?
I'm with you,
Oh
Chris.
my
By the
God.
way, yeah.
How does this keep happening?
This is so exciting.
Can you tell us which
Oh.
candies you have eaten other than the
Now
5
he's
that
just
you
doing it.
drafted
I
that
feel like
were
now he's
notable?
just
Yeah, he's
Right.
doing this so we
I've
bring him
never had
candy.
this candy.
Yeah.
I've never had a Butterfinger before.
Get out of here.
Have you ever looked at a costume and thought that, like, okay, you didn't celebrate Halloween.
Yeah.
Did you look at the revelers and think, wow, I wish I was part of that? And oh,
No,
I could have been
I do not
X or
wish
O.
I was the 2 millionth person that was Ted Lasso this weekend.
Yeah, a bit overdone this year.
I mean, I don't need to wear a blue sweater with a fake mustache like everyone else.
But you didn't like look at the parties and think, wow, that looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Not this year, like as a a youth.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been something that seemed fun, but
so
just
why not?
the opportunity never arose.
Oh, this is sad now.
He's
We
got
need
no
to
time
make
for
next
it.
year a big Halloween for you.
I would love nothing more than to throw a huge Halloween party
Same.
next year and invite everyone here, including Whittingham,
Yes.
and make him dress up as sexy Il Chiringuito.
Yes. Wait, guys, this is very important, and let's mark this on the calendar, and let's loop in Hildy to make sure it
Okay.
happens.
Oh, it's gonna happen
What year
now.
were you 21?
2013.
All right, guys. Next year for Halloween, we are going to have a 2013 Halloween party.
Yes.
We need to look and see what was popular in 2013. Will be those costumes. It's going to be Witty's big
It'll be like
day.
the guy who did that Gangnam Style song or something like that.
Psy, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know about.
Wait,
yeah.
well, he was canceled?
Well, they started looking into him more.
I think he was
Really?
canceled. Yeah.
Really?
We're all gonna dress up as characters from Wolf of Wall Street.
Wow.
Excellent. Excellent.
Can we choose your costume for you since we're going to throw the party for you?
I mean, within reason? No. Do I get approval?
No, come on.
Are you gonna try Butterfinger?
Yeah. I mean,
All
I don't
right.
know if 8:50 in the morning is the time to do that.
It's a little late.
I want you. It is late. I want you to try it and break it down for us. Yes, on Halloween
Yeah,
morning.
the day after Halloween. Yeah, it's a
Get a
little
little
late.
sugar rush.
All right, let's try it here.
Be careful. It's a little messy, just so you know.
Might be a little spicy. For
Billy,
you.
I like when they're a little melted. The Butterfinger.
It's a messy bite, the
Yeah.
Butterfinger.
It
It's
is.
why I
and
don't
it's
like
messy
it.
just-
bite,
you may have to
yes.
make an
You guys are
appointment
really
with the
selling it.
orthodontist
Delicious.
after
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Mhm. See what do you think?
Oh,
Chicken
wow.
bite.
See, look at the
Oh.
peanut
His
butter
first
swirl
bite
that you're
ever,
driving over
Butterfinger.
everything.
Mm.
Unbelievable.
He's gonna break it down.
What
He
a
gave
mess.
gave like a so-so nod.
You got
Like,
crumbs all over.
Not for me.
Oh,
not for
Finish
you.
it though.
Not great. Yeah, I'll finish it, but not great.
It's a 2-biter.
Mm.
yeah.
It is very flaky.
Butterfingers are flaky. You.
It just wants to be a Reese's peanut butter cup, and it just never will be.
Well, no, because it's a peanut butter brittle. It's a different thing.
It's like a Clark bar. Have you tried a Clark bar?
No.
No.
Very flaky. Same thing. Same
Really?
exact
It's a better
concept.
name than Clark Bar.
Yeah, it's
It
kind of
does.
lame.
Yeah. Butterfinger is a much better name.
And then Bart Simpson was attached to it for a while, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Whoa, this is cool." Did you ever watch The Simpsons, Woody?
Yeah.
What was like the or South Park? What was like the
I was a Family Guy kid.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Never did. I mean, my brother was more the Simpsons guy.
All right, it's 2003 Halloween party. You can be
13.
sexy. Sorry, 2013 Halloween party. You could be sexy Stewie.
Ooh.
That's your costume.
Wow, just the
Nice.
diaper to start.
But the football shaped head.
Yeah.
Mm.
He stole that from Hey Arnold, huh?
I guess so.
Never thought about it.
Well-
I'm gonna look for a costume for you.
Whittingham, you do live in a building where kids do not trick or treat. Like, I love that you have completely distanced
You live in a
yourself.
building where there are no kids.
What? Yeah. What's the age demographic of your
Median
building?
age there is like
Gotta be like
The median
85.
age is
9?
on the brink of retirement Canadians in
Really?
November.
That's a good place to be, though.
If you don't like Halloween.
Well, yeah, if you don't
Yeah.
like a
Quiet.
scandal.
Right.
But on Halloween, you want a little more scandal.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind if I lived in a little bit more of a
You never.
lively
But you went to.
neighborhood.
You went to UM. You never went to like the Grove for Halloween.
No.
Oh,
How?
wow. You missed out, man.
The Grove on Halloween is like legendary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I probably had homework.
Whitty was probably working one of his like several jobs that got him to where he is now,
Not
so
in
young in his
2013.
career. He was working so hard to be so.
I was working a
successful.
lot back then. I probably had a board op shift for Frito show that
Oh
night.
my
Mike
God.
nodded his head about the Halloweens in Coconut Grove. I lived there for 2
Oh,
years.
yeah.
Cafe Iguana, like at Beach Place, was
Barracudas.
was a good Halloween spot. Like, why'd you nod your head with a big smile? The Canes are back.
No, because when the Canes are back when the Grove on Thursdays popping.
They killed the Grove though.
They did.
I mean, when your feet don't stick to the ground anymore, no thank you, Coconut Grove.
It started with Moe's being gone, and then it just every domino started to fall
Moe's.
after that. Oh,
God,
Moose
Moe's.
juice.
I heard there's a Flanagan's in the Grove that
There
we
is.
may
There
be
is.
visiting.
Yeah, but it's not in like the you
Yeah.
have to walk out of the way, so it's
It's
far
off the
away
strip
from
a
the
bit.
Bar Hop.
That's
Yes.
where you would park for Halloween. at the Grove.
Yeah, you'd have to
Yeah,
hoof it.
you'd have to walk, at least 14, 15 miles.
And
to
you would
get
end the night there, right? That's where, I mean, all good nights in the Grove ended at Flanagan's, I
No.
feel like.
No.
Bad
You
nights.
start your nights at
Johnny
at the
Rockets?
Grove.
I'm saying where it ends.
No.
No?
Every night ends
Milkshake?
At every night
Get the
ended at
large if it's a
tavern.
wild one.
Every
gotta
night
get some
ended at
food that
tavern.
sops it up, you know?
Are you saying
Denny's?
every good night ends at the tavern or just every night?
Every Grove night, you would make your way through it. It depends on where you start. Some people would start at
It's a circuit.
Sandbar. Yeah, you'd run the circuit. You'd go to Sandbar, Barracuda, Tavern, Moe's. Or you'd want to close. You'd want to close.
Yeah, Green Street is
Fat
where you would-
Tuesday
yeah.
too. Fat Tuesday.
I feel like we're doing this thing again that
Boardwalk.
Mike did with the tailgating. Like
Boardwalk? It changed
every
game like 4
city
times.
has a place that they
shut it
think is
down.
their Grove. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like every city has like
Oh,
our
Miami-
downtown. Like, you
No,
know.
Miami has a million places. I don't
Yeah.
have to convince a nation that Miami is a decent nightlife town.
No.
There was what the Grove had. No one else has been
Grime
able to
time.
replicate, which was just a college type atmosphere, college bars. Nowhere else in Miami can you get that really. So that's all I'm talking about. There's plenty of places in Miami.
Sandbar
you can
every year
go.
for their anniversary before that John Taffer idiot
Right.
came and ruined it.
everything.
That Sandbar would come and they would fill their entire bar with like 4 feet deep sand. It was absurd. It was
great.
disgusting.
really?
Yeah, every year on their anniversary, they filled the bar with sand.
Sandbar is
What?
leaning heavily into the nostalgia, which is, hey, you used
Now?
to come here back in like
No,
2007.
and then the Hot Rock came in.
Well, the Hot
That
Rock, but they
idiot.
blew it out. But now they're back to, hey, we're old Sandbar, to the point that they just play football
Did they
games
bring
on
back the
TV.
lifeguard chair?
No,
Oh, then it's not the same.
but they just play Hurricanes games from when the Hurricanes were good on the TV.
You know what was ridiculous about Sandbar?
They do.
Do they really?
Yeah, I was there. They were playing a Sugar Bowl where we beat the Gators, and it was on tape. And what the coolest part about it was they kept the game with the commercials.
Wow.
As it, yeah, this was when HD was first coming out. So there was a commercial for Sears where they were promoting HD television.
Sears.
And basically, this family just walks up to this square television. And it says HD TV, and they get sucked into the TV. And it's this immersive world.
The HGTV multiverse.
Yeah, that's how they were trying to explain HD TV to a bunch of standard deaf people watching the Sugar Bowl in 2000. Sears.
Were you guys Sears or JCPenney people?
Sears.
JC.
Do I have to
JCP.
Burdines?
Sears.
Really?
Oh, Burdine.
Sears Tower.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why do you have to choose one though? I mean, can't.
Well, no,
No,
you don't
you-
have to, but it's like your
Right.
preference, like
No,
Burger King,
you- I
McDonald's,
think you do, though.
Pepsi, Coke, stuff like that.
JCPenney's a Florida store.
Is it really?
Well, yeah, was it Burdines?
I might have been
Burger
Burdines.
Burdines is a
Burdines was
Florida
consumed
store.
by Macy's.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was
Sad. I
Yeah,
miss those
Marshall
pink
Field.
Dayland
buildings.
has never been the same.
I agree.
Really?
Yeah,
Dayland, yeah, it's had a bit of a resurgence.
yeah, it's not my Dayland.
No, it's definitely not. There's a Tesla store with Teslas inside the store.
What?
Yeah, indoors.
Really?
Yeah, people go in and they pretend like they're going to buy a Tesla. They play around with the car and then they leave. Really? Tony
So
does
do
it all
I.
the time.
So do I. At Aventura Mall, they have the Tesla store.
And you just go in
I
and you
love
like
hopping in
pretend
there.
to be interested?
I love popping the hood that's a trunk. It's
Really?
the best.
Has
Say,
the
let me see
Tesla
what's under the
store-
hood.
Has it become the new sharper image from the
It
stand?
has.
They
It
closed
absolutely
the
has.
sharper image
Right.
100%.
recently.
And there's also
Wait,
they
it's
have
retail only now? You can only get it online now? I'm sorry. Retail's closed. The store's closed?
I mean,
Sure.
I don't know the specifics of it. I just know I went to where there used to be sharper images. They're no longer there. Also, the Disney store, not in existence anymore.
What?
It's a
At
sad
Dadeland
time.
or Miami International Mall. I tried to go there to get my daughter a Halloween costume. We were there. We were all excited. We took her to the mall. First trip to the mall. We were all
no.
masked up. It was a whole ordeal. And then we got there and we're like, wait a minute, this store's gone. So then I started looking it up on the phone. I'm like, yeah, these closed like 2 months ago. And I was like, should have done this before I left the house. Should have called you. You knew that, Tony? Oh,
Well, where did you get her costume?
we had to order it online.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's a dicey situation. Got here in time, though. Thanks for asking.
can confirm that Sharper Image is still an online
There you
shopping
go.
vehicle.
The sharper image was, like the store that you go to and not really buy anything. But play
Yeah,
with all the
sit in a
gizmos and
massage
gadgets.
chair.
Yeah, just for the
That's
chair.
Brookstone, isn't
Yes.
it?
Yeah, it's like the same
They have
type
those
of
at the
store.
airport still.
Yeah. Scam.
Why is this scam?
Really? Everything what
I'm
were
gonna
you
have
doing
another
to
one of
them?
these muffins. They're really good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Back to
had one of the
Sandbar for a
muffins, and then I
minute.
just saw your IG story of how you made the muffins and made me want to eat.
Oh, you made a story?
I've
I
already
did
had
make a
6.
story.
How'd you make them? You
I
put them in
thought
the
about
oven?
making a TikTok. No, I did. I
And a
should have made a
Snickers?
TikTok, but I mean, they're apple cider donut muffins. I don't have my donut rings with me, so I had to make them mini
Oh,
muffins.
gosh.
I
When's your
can-
birthday? Maybe we got some donut rings.
Well, actually, today's my half birthday.
Oh no. Don't know.
If you know what your half
Well, you asked when my birthday was,
Yeah,
so
I
it
didn't
What are
know
the
your
odds
half
that we
birthday
ask her
was.
birthday on her half birthday? though?
Exactly.
What are the
I wouldn't have
chances?
brought it up.
What
Have you-
are the
well,
chances?
I feel like
Seems
I
like
feel
you-
like that was in the holster.
I feel like you would have worked it in at some point today.
Honestly, no. I always remember my birthday because it's All Saints Day, and so we used to have to dress
Well,
up
your
as
birthday
saints.
is not All Saints Day. Your half
My half
birthday.
I always remember my
Right.
birthday too.
My half. It's
Great question, Lewis. What is a half
a
birthday?
half birthday is halfway between your birthday and your next birthday.
Right.
It's
but
something you do for infants to celebrate them not dying within
does it
6 months.
deserve a day, your half birthday? I mean, or a half day?
We should put you on a mat like a bunch of parents do for their kids at 6 months.
Yeah, then you put your feet in the cake, and then it's like, oh my god, look at this little idiot doesn't know how to eat.
I brought in
need to find
treats
a
for my
clock.
half birthday, and you guys all seem to be very upset about
You
it.
should have only brought in
gonna
half
find a quilt.
muffins today.
I'm gonna
Well,
find
they
a
are
quilt.
mini muffins, Billy.
Ah.
Do you guys celebrate half birthdays with your
No
kids? Is that a
one
thing
does
these
that.
days? No. No
Well,
one does
with
it.
kids, some people do that, and it's
Really?
yeah, and then you get
So his
invited.
second
and
birthday?
it's too much.
I'm gonna
You
find a
invite
quilt.
me to a half birthday
I got it-
and see what
Well,
happens. Okay?
I get invited to a half birthday
I ain't
once.
coming to your full birthday.
My
I
wife
mean,
talked me out of me cutting the present in half because I go, I'm going to give the kid half the present now and half the present later. And she's like, you are not going to do that, and you don't need to go anymore.